Good evening, and thank you for joining us on the AhaVah Effect. I am Candace, founder of AhaVah Works, and I'm so glad to have you with us tonight. Tonight, we have an amazing person who'll be joining us on the live that I am so happy and excited to introduce. And as you know, on the AhaVah Effect, we lead with love, grounded in authenticity. Before I bring her on, the first thing that I want to do is do a little housekeeping. So I do need to bring up some disclosures that this live broadcast is informational only for purposes. Really, it does not constitute any medical, mental health, or professional advice. The presentation may contain some commentary that may allude to other things, but this by no means is related to any other publications or cinematography that may have been published under the same name. Tonight, we're going to be on part 3 of our Becoming series, where we share our stories with you in an effort to grow you and hopefully empower you to your next step. If it's your first night joining us, just so that you know, the AhaVah Effect is a transformational platform that empowers individuals really to challenge limiting beliefs and really take the narrative and change it so that we lead authentically with love, courage, and truth. So tonight, I am so happy to introduce to some and to present to others Miss Toisheka Cooper, who is my friend. I would say at some point in my life has been my nursing mentor. She is a self-published author, educator. She is an amazing friend and an amazing individual. And I am so grateful to have her on with us tonight. So I would ask that you would please help me to welcome her.
Thank you. I really appreciate that welcome, that introduction. I definitely, again, am so excited to be here and to share my story, to talk about who I am, where I am, and how I am becoming what. I'm gonna be honest. I'm still in a work in progress. So I am open, and I am open to receive. So
Wonderful. Well, thank you. So, Ms. Cooper, if you would, of course, because I'm going to do all the superlatives for you, but if you would give us a general brief introduction of who you are, essentially how you're known, so the audience can get to know you better from your perspective.
So I am a holistic individual. I am light. I am sound. I am breath. I am love. I am all of the root chakra things that you can talk about, but I also am an individual who is in the process of learning. I am a teacher as well as I'm a student. So I'm a student as well as I am a teacher. I am understanding who I am, how I am, and where I'm going. So I'm in the process of a very enlightening journey. I also teach, I teach at 2 universities. Besides teaching, I also am a natural health consultant, as well as a holistic nurse, as well as a mentor, a coach, as well as a CEO of a trademark name, as well as a publisher. So I am all encompassing. I am the beginning and the end.
So we love that.
Thank you.
We love that.
Thank you.
And so what we're going to do is go ahead and get started with the interview today. Okay. And during our talk and conversation today, our chat and chew, we're just going to go through some of the amazing things that you've been doing, some of the things that you're working on, things that are already out there that the audience may not know about. Mm-hmm. But I really wanted to start with the first question being in keeping kind of with the Becoming series. Mm-hmm. Can you tell us what comes to mind when you think of the word becoming? Does it bring to mind an event in your life? Does it point to a special person or a certain transition for you? So when you hear that word becoming, what does that what do you think of?
For me, the first word I think of when I hear becoming is transformation. You're transforming, you're becoming, you're moving into something new. Is growth. That's what I think of. If I think of becoming for myself, is where I'm going now, where I was in the past, and how I'm moving forward in the future into the present. So for me, becoming is that transformation, that enlightenment, that vision, that growth.
I love
That's what I
that.
think of. But I do want to say I love that chat and chew. Chew and chat and chew.
Chat and chew. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I like
I mean,
that.
we're not eating,
No,
but
not.
but let's just say maybe some of the interviews, some of the nuggets that we take away, that's our meat for the night.
Yeah.
So the chat and chew.
Yeah, chat and chew. Okay.
Now, can you share like what I refer to as kind of significant, any type of significant, like pivotal or pivot point in your journey where you feel like you made significant strides, like positively or in an unpredicted direction? And what do you feel was the catalyst?
Oh, that's in depth. That's deep.
And you can do one or two or how many ever you feel comfortable sharing.
Thank you. If I had to answer that question honestly, I will have to say several things has happened in my life. The main thing is, and I'm gonna come to the present because I can go all the way back to the past. Maybe a year ago, I was, what's the word we use? Entangled in an entanglement.
Mm-hmm.
And that didn't go as well as I thought. We are all individual people. We change. We have different concepts, different thought processes, and we grow. I wanted something more for myself out of that entanglement. And something inside of me, honestly, if I have to be truthful, it snapped. I couldn't lay no hands on nobody. I couldn't run out in the middle of the street screaming, ah. Yeah. So I had to find something inside of me and I had to let it out. So for me, that got me into writings. Okay, so let me just put a disclaimer out there myself. I never thought I would write. I never thought I would be an author. I never thought that I could put pen to paper, thought to pad, thought to processes, and thought to actual words into a book. Never in my life. For me, writing is my therapy. It is helping me move past any and all blockages that I may feel or see in my way. Writing has allowed me to see both sides of the spectrum, as well as the perception that I may have, that they may have, that we may have, that they, them, thou may have. It has allowed me to move back and take into account what I'm not seeing and what I am seeing. It has also allowed me to realize that as beings, we are very emotional. A lot of people will say, no, I can put my emotions in my back pockets. But our emotions is what actually drive us to sometimes make these impulsive and snap decisions. It has allowed me to actually sit, hold that, and say, you pissed. You really want to go off on somebody right now. So what we need to do is take a deep breath, hold that for a second, bring that back, and then actually do what you want to do. Or say what you want to say, but say it in such a way, because sometimes, words can hurt. Once you say something, you can't take it back. And that actually lasts longer than physically hitting somebody. Mm-hmm. So it taught me how to actually recalibrate is the word I would like to say. Recalibrate. So a year ago, I definitely mentioned I was in a situationship. It wasn't even a situationship. It was an entanglement. Shouldn't even been an entanglement. It's almost like I was a hare and I ran into the forest and got caught up in some trees and I couldn't get my way out. But I couldn't express myself the way I wanted to. And writing was the only way I could. And I realized when I had one thought, it brought about another thought. And let me tell you, it just brought me to where I am now. So far, I have written within the past year 10 journals. And each journal is part of my process and part of my growth.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I want to pause because and I want to understand that what we're hearing. So what we're hearing is that you processing these emotions in a way led to an expression that has essentially made a difference in our lives, right? Those of us who actually all have purchased your journals. So what you're explaining to us is essentially what the AhaVah Effect stands for, is that your story can always help someone else. Those moments can always transition into healing for someone else or empowerment to someone else. So thank you for sharing that. Now, you said 10 journals, ma'am, did you not? 10?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
okay.
Yes.
And that's in a year.
Thank you. Let me just go back, because one of the things I realized being in the world, I'm not the only one that's feeling half of the things I'm feeling. I can't be the only one that's going through what I'm going through. I can't be the only one looking, asking, seeking some type of, I don't want to say a solution, but some type of solution or resolution to assist me to get to the other side. Because, I can't be mad forever. I can't hold on to anger forever. I can't be emotional forever. I can't be going around wanting to tear up the world forever. I have to be on the other side of that, which is a side of peace. And I know I can't be the only one. I know there are others out there who have gone through some of what I've gone through, if not more, if not less. I said, so if I am working through this, why can I not help somebody else who may be going through the same thing, or may actually look at it and say, okay, wait, she has a point. She has a point. Or it could be a he that says, oh, she has a point. Maybe I do need to take a deep breath, step back, give myself 5 seconds, 5 minutes, look at it again, and then act with intention and not necessarily emotions. Because sometimes we come out wilding out, we be ready to fight. We shoot first, ask questions later. But this time we actually need to stop, ask those questions within ourselves first, then ask the next person.
So what I can actually say is then what you intended then in your journals is happening. So first, I want to be the first to say and we'll get to some of your works in a few minutes, but having had one of the many that you have published,
thank you.
The one that I currently am working on for myself, the Self-Dedication Journal, which we'll talk about in a minute. What I want to thank you for, period, is saying what so many are thinking and feeling, but will not put in a publication. Okay. Yeah. I will say that because there are a lot of self-help works where it's and you should do this and you should, but no one is saying I am in pain, period. And when I am in pain, period, this, and I should probably this, and this is not normal. So thank you for putting, how can I put this? Making it normal. Just say it. So because what happens is before I think we can process and heal, we have to identify what we're feeling. And for many of us, we were not taught how to do that.
True. Am I wrong? And that goes the same. No, that goes the same for me. I feel when you're looking at it, and I love the fact that you brought up self-dedication, because that was the last one I put out. And that was the one that took me the longest to actually write. Is Self-Dedication, a journal for building a life of purpose. Rational resilience. Rational resilience is the part where I was saying where you actually need to ask yourself before you react, why am I acting like this? Is it because of him? Is it because of me? Is it because of the job? Why emotionally am I reacting instead of doing it the right way? Looking at internal authorship, who is piling in this ship? One of the things that we look at a lot is society. I can't be what everybody else is. I can only be who I am. And then the discipline of becoming is actually learning to rewrite some of those things that we already have, quote unquote, pre-programmed in our subconscious of who, what, when, where, and how we're supposed to be. Because sometimes if you think about it, I realize that I can come off as an extrovert. I really am an introvert. I realize that in my life, I don't have a really nice, I do have, but I would love to have a really big, thick group. But I realize that for me, having a lot of people in my life, I don't want that. No. Can I have 2 or 3 people? That's it. I'm good. That's it. I'm good. And I understand that now. I understand that I'm not going to be invited to everybody's party. I'm okay. I'm not going to be asked to go everywhere. I'm okay. And I understand that sometimes some of the things that I think that others are doing is something that I wouldn't do. But again, I'm okay. And that's a lot, because a lot of times we all want to fit in, and sometimes fitting in, it's just not where you're supposed to be at. You cannot put a square peg in a round hole. And I'm a square peg. I'm that black sheep. I refuse to follow any and everybody. I am not jumping off no cliff. I am not doing the purple Kool-Aid.
Not the purple Kool-Aid.
Girl, yes. So self-dedication for me is something I'm still working on myself, because I have to dedicate time to self. I cannot pour from an empty cup. My cup right now is 3/4 filled, but every day I'm having to work on who I am and recalibrate some of my thought processes on why I do certain things that I do.
Mhm.
Where did that come from? Is that truly how I feel? And then I have to remind myself that looking at social media is not who I am. I mean, I have my stuff on social media, I do things for, on social media, but 9 times out of 10, I I'm not everybody else. And half of the stuff that everybody else does is not what I do. It's not who I am.
That part.
Mm-hmm.
And also it's identifying, right, that like, and I just say this, I try to teach this to my children, but I had to learn it myself first, right? So trying to be like other people is impossible, because there's really only one of everyone, right? So you're trying or you're attaining something that is impossible, because there is only one version of that person. There is only one version of you. So yes, you may have similar stories. It may even have similar endpoints. You may cross each other's path in life. You may have similar beliefs. You may have similar values. But no two people are the same. So
True.
I encourage my children that like you can aspire to some of the same things, but you should not want to be like anyone else, because you're unique. Like you were manufactured perfectly for you. And I had to learn that at 30 plus, 30, almost 40. I probably lied. 40. I just gave it away, y'all. It's okay. I'm not ashamed of my age.
Look, I'm not ashamed of my age, because I feel I look good for my age. I don't look like my age. And I'm proud to say that my birthday is this Wednesday, July the 29th. Yes. And so I am excited to be here. I'm excited to be on this again revolution of where are we going, because it feels like a little revolution, but I'm here. I'm doing another solar return. I'm excited. To see where I go.
Well, we have a couple ladies in the chat that I want to thank for being here. A few actually now. So, hey, we want to say at Verna Johnson 3545, we see you and we love you. At 0227 Michelle, always love to have you, babe. Good to see you on. And at JPTZ3 says happy early birthday. I'm sure she is. And welcome to the AhaVah Effect, all watching. We're sitting and talking with Miss Toisheka Cooper, self-published author, educator, holistic nurse, an amazing friend of mine. And we're just marching along, moving forward, talking about all her excellence and beauty. On to the next. So what are 3 things that you prioritize like in your life today, right? Like, are those priorities different from 5 years ago, and why?
Oh, girl, yes. What I prioritize.
This is like my favorite question.
5 years ago, I wouldn't be doing half of what I'm doing now. So let me just say that. I'm gonna have to say, if I have to prioritize the first thing, it has to be a 1 and a 1A. 1A. So the first thing I'm gonna prioritize is myself, and the A is my child. We're 1-to-1. If the second thing I prioritize is my peace. I can't do nothing. I mean, I love my peace. The third thing that I take in there is making sure I stay in touch with myself. And that's something 5 years ago, I can be honest, I would not have done. But I realize that now that sometimes we lose our way, we lose who we are. And one of the things I have to remind myself is keep 10 toes down, keep myself grounded, remind myself who I am, making sure that my daughter is still in touch with this reality and not the reality on social media, as well as making sure that I am here, not just for myself, but for her and others as well. So I definitely look at my peace. I can't stand chaos. I mean, chaos is in the world. I mean, some can take it, some can't. I have gotten to the point where I realize that that's just not what I want no more. I just really don't. I mean, I will take it as it comes. I will filter it and let it just flow right through me.
I guess, can you remember 5 years ago what those 3 priorities were? Not that they're relative. But if we had to okay, so 5 years ago, my top 3 priorities were, and I'm going to share mine too, so we could be authentic together. but like 3 years ago, right? Would you have said the same three? So if not, what were the three years ago, you think?
Ooh, 5 years ago, child. Let me
5
see
years
right
ago.
now. Ooh, wait, I was what? How old was I? Okay.
That was right after the what was that, 49? Something like that.
40, yeah. Oh, 5 years ago, I was 49.
40
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, I was 40 something, child. Okay, so it would have been worrying about others, my expectations, worried about others, wanting to be around others, wanting to fit in, wanted to be in the clique, wanted to be within a group. So that would have been my first one, making sure that I put others before myself. And then, I mean, I don't want to say I was in them streets, but, you know, trying to hang out when I should have been hanging out with myself, but, you know, living that life in them streets. Not being who I am authentically, not being able to be vulnerable, to speak my mind, to speak my piece, to recognize when I'm unhappy, and then putting others before myself. So,
okay,
you know, I mean, if we 5 years ago, I mean, I was older, but you know, let's be honest, when you think about it, you know, you say, I wasn't doing that. I'm too old for that. But we still do it. We still try to live for the Joneses. And I don't have no Joneses beside me. I have a brick wall and an empty house. So I'm trying to figure out who I'm trying to be like. I'm telling you, I got this brick wall right here. So
I don't know. The Jefferson says moving up to the east side. I lived in New York most of my life, honey. I seen the east side. I never lived there though.
Yeah. So
3 years ago, and I had to think about this when I was going to ask you, because I was like, well, we real authentic here, right? The AhaVah
3 or 5 years ago. 3 or 5 years ago.
5 years ago. 5 years
Okay,
ago.
5 years ago.
So, and I was like, 5 years ago, what did I prioritize 5 years ago? And I was like, you know me, I could be very wordy. So I was like, I'm gonna be real succinct. My career. Yeah. Okay. And that kind of stung, because I was like, man, my family wasn't first like 5 years ago. Nope. I had to be real. Right. I was like, no, I was going to be all I could be, like the army. Right. I was going my career. I was a top-notch people pleaser.
Yeah.
Like, honey, people pleasing was my second priority. And then I would say third was my family. Right. Yep. So in that, I realized I lost myself. I'm nowhere in there. Faith is nowhere in there. Community is nowhere in there. So I wasn't thinking, yes, I was hanging out with friends and stuff like that, but it was not. Like, it wasn't a priority. It was kind of like, if I have community, I have community. If I don't, I don't. Not realizing, like, how do we grow when you don't have people who come before you, you know, kind of thing. So that's me.
And you notice, I said none of that. I said none of my faith. I said nothing about my child. I said nothing about any of that. I was talking too much about everything else on the outside of my house instead of what was going on in my house.
Right.
Yeah, and it's really hard that when you find that you have little triggers and you find things that bother you, that you have to pull that back in, and you have to come back home, close your door, and clean the inside and make sure the inside is good.
Yeah.
So with that being said, one of the main things that happened is when a year ago started, and for me, it was a main trigger, I guess, or something that was like a huge catalyst that made me sit down, and then I wrote Reclaiming Power. 48 Laws for a Black Woman, because I had to remind myself who I am. I had to remind myself, I got to get this crown back on. I had to remind myself that when I walked in any room, I own that room. The room didn't own me. And when I wrote this one, I wrote it under my Yoruba name, Yetunde Iwaleye, which my whole Yoruba name is Yetunde Omoshelewa Omoyola Iwaleye. I wrote it under that because I wrote it under who I am authentically. I am Toisheka authentically, but right there, I had my feet in the soil. I talked to my Ori, which is Ovatalao. I talked to him. Him and I had a very deep conversation, and he had to remind me how I had to move forward as a Black woman, and how I had to remind myself where I came from, who came before me, all my ancestors that's behind me, that's rooting for me, that basically died for me to be where I am today. And I had to remind myself again how I have to move forward out of my own way. And after I wrote Reclaiming Power, I started writing everything. After I did this one, what happened next was, I'm not gonna cry on this thing.
Can I say something inside you opened? Something opened.
Something open, but it's almost as though everything. It's like I wrote this one, and then next thing you know, my next one is you're your own stop sign, because I had to remind myself, no one is stopping me but me. No one is stopping. No one is telling me I can't move forward. No one is telling me I can't write. No one is telling me I can't publish. No one is telling me I can't be great. No one is telling me. You know, the only person who was telling me that? Me. I was telling myself that. So then this one came out. You're your own stop sign, turning stop signs into green light for your life. I realized that for me to move forward, I had to stop with this. I can't, I cannot, I will, I won't. That part of procrastination. And when I did that, I mean, they just started coming out. Everything started coming out. Again, these journals are a form of healing for me. It's a form of therapy for me. One of the things I want to say is that in each and every one of them, every day is different. I do not like that methodical every day is, are you happy? Are you sad? Pick a number 1 through 10. You know, every day is different. I'm not feeling like that today. So every day when you're working, I'm asking you something different. I'm asking you to dive deeper into what it is. I'm asking you to close the door, turn off the lights, shut the windows, and sit within yourself and ask yourself truly, is this what it is? Who is actually hindering you? You know what they say? Only you can prevent forest fires. Only you are stopping yourself. So
well, I want to spend some time here. And the reason that I want to spend some time here is because, and this is just me personally, I feel like this is huge. So, and I'm going to talk about our story for a little bit. So before the AhaVah Effect, before AhaVah work, so I was at a stop sign. Okay. And I'll just put, you put our business in the street. So, and you are the person that was like, well, what is it that you want to do? And I was like, I don't know. Like, I don't know what I want to do. I can't think past my job. I can't, and my kids and my life and I will say this, you have this tone about you that is always even, right? And you were like, well, you need to figure out what you want to do.
Yeah.
You need to realize that the only person in your way is you, and you need to figure out. And I will be honest with you and say, of course, with God, my family, but with you, I had that community. I had that person that kept me accountable, but not for nothing. I think what you did was make me realize legit that I was in my own way and that I wasn't using the gifts I already had. So when you published, that unlocked in me that, oh, that was a gift actually she already had. That was unlocked. So basically, and if I go back to 48 Laws, or if we just talk about it, I wonder how you feel then about maybe one day being described as the person who came before, because you will be the person who unlocked that for people behind you. Have you ever thought about that?
Honestly, if I have to be honest, I haven't thought about half of the stuff that I'm being asked. I realized that, no, really, when, people are asking me all the time, like, how do you feel? You currently have 10 journals on Amazon. You have 2 in Barnes and Nobles. You've been on several podcasts. You're actually talking about different things. How do you feel? And I tell them, I feel the same way I felt yesterday. I definitely am excited that it's actually helping people and it's helping everyone move forward. That I'm definitely excited with. But I'm still the same OG.
Yes, this we know. Those who know, you know. If you know, you know.
Yes, I'm still the same. I just,
evolved.
Yeah, I evolved. I'm a visionary. I see things moving forward. I just want to continue helping myself, helping others, helping people see the potential that they have in themselves, seeing the potential I have in myself. So, yeah.
And do you feel that being an educator helps with that as well as the publishing, or are you also mentoring for people in the audience who may want to know? Are you doing consultations for people who might want to self-publish? So all these things may come up. So I'm gonna just ask all the questions for people.
So yes. So I am an educator. So I definitely would not mind talking about that. I teach at 2 universities. I primarily teach nursing. So working in the hospital as well as teaching, I see both sides of the pendulum. I see what it is that you're studying, how you're studying, and what we're teaching you. And I also see what actually happens when you're in your facility and you're actually practicing as a nurse. So one of the things I love about the teaching on both sides is that I'm actually able to assist you to grow more on the other side, which is when you're in the hospital working. I love that part. I love it, love it, love it. I love allowing you that chance and that time and that space to connect the dots, especially from what you have learned. My primary goal where I work at is teaching all newer nurses under 2 years with any and all hands-on skills at bedside. So primarily what that means is you may learn how to put in the IV and Foley and stuff in or in school in clinicals, but you rarely do more than 1 or 2, or you may do 2. But when it comes to actually now being a nurse and practicing, you now have your license. We're asking you to do that every day. And then you're a little hesitant. And then you're like, I need help. And I will be the one that will come to you. And then I will actually be in the room like I were your clinical instructor, but I actually work for the hospital, and we would do it together to the point where you gain confidence within yourself and you became a more effective and efficient nurse. So I love it. I love it. I mentor all the time. I talk about the greatness that is within each and every one of us. You just need to see it within yourself. I mean, let me just say, sometimes I have a hard time reminding myself of that. I do coach. If anyone wants to know how to be self-published, how to do it yourself, you can pay a lot of money. I mean, I could pay a lot of money, but why when, it feels better that I did it. I made it. I wrote it. I did it. I did it all, from writing, putting it together, having my own business, my own LLC, putting it on Amazon, making sure I got it into Barnes and Nobles, and then speaking on it. I love each and every piece and part of that. So I don't have an issue with coaching and mentoring in that arena as well.
Well, that is awesome to hear. So we want to say also hello to Glam Dolls Boutique. We see you, and thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
So, yes, thank you. So we're going to get into the nitty gritty of how the audience can actually get in contact with you in case they're interested in mentorship or some other pointers about publication.
Okay.
But I actually want to get to maybe a little bit of a deep question tonight before we take a break for questions from the audience. But if you were asked to use 3 words, just 3 words, period, to describe yourself to someone who does not know you or know of you, okay, what would they be, and which do you most identify with? So just 3 words.
So I have to take a breather on that one. I have to take a breather on that one.
So we don't know you.
One, a visionary, because I see what's ahead of me. I have seen what has been behind me. I have built upon that. And so I'm moving forward. So definitely a visionary. Empowering, because I have to empower myself, and I will empower any and everyone that's around me. So I want everyone to feel and do the same thing I'm doing, if that's in your scope. Because sometimes, you get to that point where you're like, I don't want to do all that. I completely understand. As well as resilience, because I'm able to take my trauma that has been behind me, and I'm able to take it, transform it, and continue to move forward. And so this is where my name, Inspire and Transform Collective, comes from, because I'm here to inspire and transform you collectively. So we're going to do that together. So my 3 words would be visionary, empowering, and resilient.
Nice. And I'll say just today. Let's talk about just today, because that's my new thing. Be present, right? So which do you most identify with today, Sunday, July 26th?
Empowering.
Which one did you have to use today? Empowering?
No, today I had to use resilience.
Okay.
I had to remind myself who I was, what I was doing, get up, move, I had to remind myself, because, memory holds a lot, and it's amazing how memory affects where you are in that present moment and how you see and how you move in the future. And I had to remind myself that, I'm here. I didn't have to be here, but I made it, and I made it here. So resilience. So, I had to move forward.
Okay. Yes, I love that. I love those 3 words.
Yeah, that's what I am today, though. That's today.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly.
Tomorrow.
We change. We go from one to the other depending on the day.
Yes.
So welcome to everybody in the chat. We see you. I think we have mentioned everybody that's come up. If you have any questions for Ms. Cooper or just in general, especially since ladies that are in the platform, you are essentially regulars to the live. If you have any questions for Ms. Cooper, just go ahead and drop them in the chat.
Please.
But yes, and so we can address your questions, or if you're going through anything that we can empower you or encourage you on, just let us know. I'm also going to break right now to get into contacts for both the AhaVah Effect and for Ms. Cooper. So while we're waiting on some questions, if there are any, Ms. Cooper, do you have a way that the audience can contact you if they're interested in any of the things that you mentioned?
I actually do. I just posted it. Thank you. Okay. I have a QR code where you can, if you have the time, you can actually scan that. That will actually take you to my authors page, which is on Amazon. I'm also listed on all social medias. So you can look me up under Inspire Transform Collective, as well as Toisheka Cooper. You can send me an email, a text, or a message, and I will primarily get back with you usually within, I'm really good 24 hours. I do a lot of my writing when I can't sleep.
That's when I do our best work.
I know, as a nurse, being a nurse over 20 years, almost 20 years, something like that, as the crow flies. I do my best work when I'm asleep, when everything is quiet. When everything is quiet. So yes.
So first, I have to say, I don't know if you did this flyer yourself. I need to hire you.
I did. So we gonna let's be honest.
Okay, so whoever did this, I need to hire them. So I'm gonna need some contact. But love this. Okay.
Thank you. You have to outsource because we can't do everything.
Yes, because this I love. It has all of the contacts. You guys can go ahead and scan the QR code. I do want to make mention that Ms. Cooper's journals are also available on the Barnes & Noble platform.
Yes.
Which is amazing as well.
Thank you. Yeah, I only have 2 currently on Barnes & Nobles. That will be my resilience journal for nurses, because my primary niche is nurses, as well as your own stop sign. I'm actually looking to see if I can get self-dedication, because I believe that one is really good for the overall general public and not just necessarily nurses. So those are the only 2 currently I have at Barnes & Nobles. Everything else is all on Amazon.
Yes. So I love that. And so from my voice to your growth, tell us a bit about that. What's happening there?
With what?
The new episode?
Oh, no, this is the new episode right now. Girl, what we doing right now? This is us.
I was like, wait, is there something new coming and I don't know?
Okay. No, it's this. It's this right here. That's right here.
We talk about everything. So I don't know.
It's us. This is what we're doing right now. This is me and you.
Well, we do have a question from Barbara Oxendine, 4313, who asked, she said, I see you have another journal. Now, how many does this make for you?
Hi, Barbara Oxendine. That actually is my mother.
Oxendine. Okay. That's my mother. I know it is, but I want to put out my business. Love you.
So if I have to be honest, I have currently, again, 10. I actually self-published 2 this month, which was my I is for Innovate, which is part of the Resilience Journal for Nurses, or the Foundational Journal for Nurses, because for every letter in resilience, it's an acronym. R is for renew, E is for empower, S is for strength, I is for innovate. I have those 4 out already. L is for lead, I is for integrate, E is for embrace, N is for nurture, C is for cultivate, E is for elevate. So each one of those journals build upon the next one. My first one that I did for the Resilience Journal series was R is for renew. And I put in there that before you can renew, you need to release. So it's release and then renew. It's all in one. After that, I put in empower, because after you release and renew, now you can be more empowered. From that empowered, it comes strength. From strength is innovate. How do you innovate, especially in nursing? How do you innovate or make changes, causes change? After that is going to be lead as in leadership. But lead can also mean change in other forms, as well as it links with innovate. When I did I is for innovate, I also did finished up self-dedication. Self-dedication is one of those that I'm still working on. I have published what I did, but I'm still working on it. And I feel like there's other things inside of it that I feel like can grow from something else. One of the main things that I love, if you don't mind, I'm gonna pick it up, is let me find it. It's reality versus romanticism. Because one thing is that, in our heads, I live in my head, I live in a $5.6 million mansion. That's where I'm living. In reality, I'm not. And one of the things that we do is we romanticize work, friendship, things that we want, things that we're going, understandings, communications. We romanticize that. We think it's one thing, but in reality, it's something totally different. So self-dedication is one I just finished. And in this journal, I tell you that, sometimes you're going to have to ask people. I have one right here where I tell you to, where is it? I'm asking you to ask two of your friends. Ask two of your friends, what do they think about you? And be honest. Because that's one thing, we refuse to do. And as friends, let me just say this. As friends, we will tell you what we think you want to hear, but not for real what's the truth. Like sometimes you see people come outside and they dress all kind of funky and you're like, what in the hell is that? And you're like, your friend let you leave the house like this?
Is she your friend?
Is she your friend? But at the same time, when we're talking about friendship, and I feel like friendship should be something that has been cultivated more than 10 plus years, because you should have been able to meet this person, to have a disagreement with this person, work through the disagreement with this person, and continue to grow in your relationship. If we get to the point where, you make me mad and I tell you, I'm not feeling this, or I need time away, and you get mad, then we really and truly were never friends. And if we were, it was a one-sided friendship.
Yeah. So then we could go on a long tangent about that. Friendships and relationships, and then we both have teenagers. So we understand what they're going through, because the sad part is, as adult, and I will say this, as adult women, we still go through what our daughters are going through as teenagers.
Adults.
As adults. So yes, I appreciate you saying that very much, because I think we use the term friend very loosely.
Yes.
And mainly because what I mean by that is the title and our behavior and expectations does not match.
Yes. And so when you ask two people that you trust and that to actually ask them, what do you see in me? Who do you think I am? What is it that I do that you like and don't like? And I tell you, write it down verbatim. Don't change nothing. Don't misinterpret anything. Write it exactly as they say it and sit on that. Because in our heads, we're one thing, but in reality, it's something totally different. And again, that's all about perception. And this is where rational resilience comes from. It's about perception, understanding, and not becoming emotional and having that really in-depth talk. Sometimes we can't do that.
No, absolutely.
So I really love this one. A couple of other things in there is the one, it's the one up, how you always want to one up somebody. I went skydiving off the Grand Canyon, and next thing you know, somebody's telling you, I went skydiving off of Mount Everest. And you're like, really?
Right.
Really? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I talk about a lot of those, like it's a form of competition. It's a form of insecurities. And there's a lot of things that I myself had to deal with. I myself went through. I myself have done. So I don't want anyone to assume I haven't done any of this. I have. We all have. I have. So, and I'm just trying to progress and transform and move myself up to be better. So, yeah.
Yeah, no. And I 100%. And Ms. Oxendine also says she's been sharing your journals with healthcare professionals and giving them out as gifts. So there's that.
Thank you, Mom. That is really, really good. If you got any of my resilience journal series, I have the foundational journal of resilience. And then again, I have R is for new, E is for empower, S is for strength. And I just came out with I is for innovate. Anyone really and truly can utilize those. Anyone can see and work within those. My niche primarily is for nursing. It's actually having nursing, ask themselves the why, because we all have a why. My favorite question to ask nurses is, why did you become a nurse? Why? 9 times out of 10, it was for the love, caring. They had someone that was sick, someone who they were taking care of, a mother, a family member, a friend, a husband, a spouse, a daughter, kids, something. And then I asked them, so you got into nursing because of compassion, giving, wanting to take care of somebody. So how do you go get that back? Because a lot of nurses are saying, they're becoming burned out. I'm trying to figure out how you burned out in a year. I mean, you still just learning nursing. How are you burned out in a year? But that's that part of resilience. It's bouncing back. You have been there when we had to call somebody and the person passed away. How do you bounce back into giving back into nursing, having that same compassion you did when you first initially started? So this is where my resilience series came from, is teaching and talking to them about finding that why again, falling in love with that why again, looking around the corner of what has happened of that situation and understanding that you can utilize that and you can grow from that.
Which I think is so important, because I think also what your journal specifically have been speaking to is, which I love, this is like my favorite part. I'm gonna just say that. The 3 of your journals I have purchased, the consistent theme is identify it, call it out. Whatever it is, like stop pacifying it, stop rationalizing it, stop romanticizing it, stop. And so to me, it's the authenticity of it all. And I will be honest and say, as a reader and a supporter, it is the hardest part.
Yes.
It is, and I could get emotional. It is so hard to be like, I don't see myself how people see me, right? Yes. I know I'm amazing, right? But that's not what I see.
So I know I'm amazing. We all say that. We all say that. And one of the things I realize is that working on you part, because let me be honest. It has taken me until now to identify who I truly am. Not who society sees me as, not who my friends see me as, not who my family see me as, to actually say, who do I want to be? I know how I was raised. I know how I got to where I am. And in the midst of that, you're still trying to find your way, trying to find yourself. But now to get to that point to say, okay, I don't want to do this no more. I'm tired. I don't want to eat chicken no more. I don't want to drink no more. I don't want to dance no more. I really don't want to do that. I really, if I could, just would like to, not me personally, make clay pots. I'm just using this as an example.
I got you.
Yeah, it has taken me to this point to realize my boundaries, because one thing that we have a hard time with is boundaries. And the boundaries are not for others, if you really think about it. Boundaries are for you. They're for you, for your own mental health, your own emotional health, your own spiritual health and growth, your own, depends on how freaky dicky you are, your own sexual health, environmental. Since I'm holistic, I got to put that in there, environmental, because some people like to go outside, some people don't. Some people like to go to the beach, some people don't. It's about establishing those boundaries that are within your limits, where you're in the middle and you are happy, and you can actually tell other people that that's something I don't want to do that, and then say no, period, no question mark, and then still be like okay with that, and not having to rationalize and explain why I'm not doing it, because I'm not doing it.
Yeah,
I know you want to.
It's also about, I think, and this is something I have learned to do. I think a lot of times we behave based on fear of a response, right? Fear of a reaction, right? And so we're not being authentic. And I actually just had this conversation with my daughter, one of them, that you're almost not being authentic because you're afraid to hurt someone. And so what we don't realize is what we're doing is intentionally self-harming, right? Because you're just like, okay, well, so since I don't want to hurt this person, I'm just going to hurt myself instead. I'm going to suppress my own feelings, or I'm going to put myself behind the situation, or I'm not. And I didn't learn that about myself. Like, somebody will ask me to do something. Well, can you? And what about? And the kids? And
yes,
and yes. I'm sure. Knowing I just worked a full week on call. I'm exhausted. I have no mental capacity. I have no emotional, really, competence at that point. So I just wonder, and that's why I feel like, again, your journals do is like, you don't have to feel guilty about considering yourself.
Yes. So
like, talk about that.
Okay, so with that right there, I definitely have to say, because I had to pick up my self-dedication journal, and one of the things you mentioned is impact over intent, because what we intend to do and how it impacts on the other side is totally different. And I put in impact over intent means that the effect of our words, actions, or behaviors matter more than what we meant to do. What we meant to do. And what we do is, you would say, I didn't mean to hurt you. That speaks to the intention. But the impact is that you actually hurt the person based on your actions, your words, or your behavior. And this is, again, where rational resilience, if I go back to what is rational resilience, because I have that, it's respond instead of react, regulate emotions without outsourcing control. Because when you outsource your control, which means give it away, that person actually has more power over you than you do. Accept reality without romanticizing alternatives, because sometimes we'll say, oh, well, he didn't mean to close the door. Oh, he closed the door. So he meant to close the door. Yes. Build identity internally rather than borrowing it. This is who I am instead of me being like somebody else. Choose self-respect over dependency. That's where rational resilience for me comes from. So what you just talked to about your daughter is something that we all are struggling with, because our intention was good, but the way it landed was not as well as we thought it was. And when that impact is not what we romanticized or thought it would be, now we have to make sure we have that rational resilience to actually make it better, or if you don't, make it worse.
I could take it. We can even take it a step further. So because you romanticized what it actually was instead of the reality of what it is, why are we so surprised when the outcome is not what we romanticized?
Because it's romanticized. Reality. It ain't real. Because in reality, that's just like saying I'm Neo and I can fly. That's romanticized. I'm romanticized. I'm in the Matrix. But in reality, it's not like that. That's just like saying, I want this person. I want to be with this person. This person wants to be with me. That's romanticizing. But the person told you several times, it ain't happening, Captain. Thank you. No, thank you. Maybe in the, like Erica Badu, maybe the next lifetime, but in this one, we ain't doing it. And so we still think, well, maybe he didn't mean it. He was just, a little upset at work. I don't know. Some of the stuff that we come up with to appease ourselves is hard. I have done it, and I have gotten to the point now where I take you at what you say. If you say it's not it, or if you say this is something you don't want, and I'm not saying in relationships in general, I realize it is what it is. I take it at face value.
Right.
Yeah, I'm quick to tell you, tell me how you feel for real. Don't come back 3 weeks, 5 years, 10. Okay, here we go. 10 years, 5 months, 3 weeks, 4 days, 6 hours, 26 minutes, and 5 seconds ago. You really didn't mean it. I don't want that.
But you said it. You said it.
Yeah.
So, yes. So we didn't have a whole lot of questions from the audience, but we did have some comments about that little break. And I'll bring some of them up. So Glam Dolls Boutique said, I'm just learning how to set boundaries.
That is the hardest part, Glam Doll Boutique, is learning how to set boundaries. But the fact is you're learning how to do it. You just have to stick to it. And it's amazing how it becomes easier. And then people start to take you at your word, and they realize that this is how you are. If you say, I'm not going, I'm not doing it, I'm not drinking it, they realize, okay, she's not doing it.
And you don't do it.
Yes.
So you got to say it and don't do it.
Don't do it. At the same time, I learned that with establishing boundaries, it's easy for people to recognize if someone says, Toisheka said she was going, I'm gonna make this up, outside, or Toisheka is going to have a drink. People who know me will tell you I do not drink anymore. And so for them to say, oh, Toisheka's getting a drink, you'll say, okay, so we already know how Toisheka is, and we already know that's not her. We already know that's not her. I can tell you right now, that's not true. She don't drink, and she's strong with that. We've been out several times, and she has not put a drop to her mouth. And so setting boundaries is really hard. The hardest part is not for others, it's for you, and staying steadfast in what it is that you want. That, for me, is the hardest.
Yeah. And you're worth those boundaries.
Yes.
I'm just going to add that on. You're worth it. Either your peace is worth it, your mental health is worth it. But also, I think setting boundaries allows others to see how much you respect and care about yourself.
Yes. And then at the same time, it lets them know the difference between romanticism and reality, because they already see the reality is it's not going to happen.
Not here,
regardless to what it is, whatever it may be. So that's a good thing. That's a really, really good thing. It's been a wonderful thing for me. I'm a work in progress. Rome was not built in a day. I'm still learning. It's amazing how you were brought up or taught certain things, and then you're having to, I like to use that word, recalibrate. That just means you have to just move it up a little bit or move it down some. You're not actually turning or changing into a totally different person. So I have to remind myself, I'm not trying to refine myself because I was never lost. I just need to make some minor adjustments. And that's exactly what I'm doing.
I love that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Vernon Johnson 3545 says that part, I'm my hardest critic, not seeing my own worth.
So I'm going to raise my hand on that because that is me. That is
all
where,
of us?
Yes, actually. Yeah, all of us. That's where I got you're your own stop sign. We are our hardest critics. We are so worried about what society or the next person is going to say that we don't do it. I'm going to be honest, when I wrote 48 Laws, I did it. I was so in a state of, I was mad. I was really mad. I had to remind myself who I was, that I actually just researched it, did it, pushed it out there. The first one was not what it is now. I have learned how to recalibrate, how to update and make some changes and make it flow better. But after that, when I did my first one, I was like, oh, okay, so I could do my second, I could do my third. I actually did a talk on nurses can write, on how nurses can be self-published. And it has been a wonderful adventure. Again, when I ask my family, who in our family writes, they would just say, people have written maybe a book or two, but I have written currently, I think, Mom, you can let me know, I have written the most and published the most. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Thank you.
Well, so there's that. And then on that vein, this beautiful woman says, I have found that reading some of these journals can also be for you because you have to take care of you.
Yes. And that's where I go back into how these journals became my form of therapy, how they actually helped me move outside of what I was going through and actually look at it and disseminate it the way it needed to be done. And then recognize my issues, work on those, and then either say, I'm going to keep this piece or I'm going to get rid of it. There is no in the middle. There is no, I'm kind of sort of pregnant. I'm either going to do the work or I'm not. I decided to do the work. So a lot of the journals really are about you, no one else, because I'm only asking you what you want to do and how you want to be amazing. So yes.
Yes, absolutely. And not for anything, it sounds like because you were willing to be vulnerable, because you processed, and at some point you grew to a point where the opinions of others didn't matter. Mm-hmm. 10 journals later.
Yes. Yes.
Which is amazing.
I mean, I still have had comments, negative, not many, some, but in the interim, I have to ask myself, for you to have that much energy to tell me how it's not working for you means you're not actually putting in the work. And again, let me just say, the journal may not be working for you. It may not be actually what you need. You may need something stronger than what I have, which is something that's written. You may actually need to go and talk to a licensed counselor or someone. And that's what needs to be done. I get it. I'm okay with
Yeah.
that. I have no other choice but to be okay with that.
Yes, and this platform speaks to that exactly. And along that vein, as we have said at the beginning of the live, like this is not meant to be medical or professional advice.
Mm-hmm.
It is information. However, if you have gotten to a point where you feel like you have used a lot of these resources and they are not working for you and you don't feel emotionally or mentally stable, please seek professional help. Okay. Or go to someone you love and trust so that they can seek help for you.
Yes. One of the things I notice is that a lot of us like to sit at home and work on some of the things that we think may be wrong. I mean, I have had people tell me they have used ChatGPT as a counselor. Okay. It's free.
No, ma'am. Not okay for me, but sure. But that works for you.
And some people say that they do like to journal and that journaling helps them because it makes them become more in tune to themselves.
I do like journaling. I will say, and I don't know if this is, I mean, we're in medicine, right? But I don't know if this is like a brain body thing where sometimes you write things you didn't even know you were thinking.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Have you had that experience where you're like, I didn't even know I felt that way. And you just start writing and you're like, okay, it'll come out more than you say it.
Yes, I have. And this is why I love the fact that if you got any of my journals, I'm gonna pick up another one. Let me get another one. Just someone random. Let's see. You're your own stop sign. If you were to open it up, every day is something different. It's going to ask you, let me find one real quick. Okay, so week 6, stop negating self-care. Explain the walls you built to survive. I have a self-care tracker in here. I have daily reflection page layout where it says a stop sign moment. What thoughts, actions, or feelings held me back today? Reframe it. How can I rewrite this thought or action in a way that supports my growth? Self-development step. What small action can I take today to move myself forward? Self-reflection. What did I learn about myself today? Affirmation of the day. I am. And then you do a self-check-in. Every day is something different. I'm not going to keep asking you the same 5. Oh, I can't work like that. Yeah. Week 9, stop doubting your power. The power you forgot you had. That was definitely me. So for me, I needed something where I was growing. Every day is a new day. I'm asking myself a different question, and I'm asking something that normal journals do not ask. Normal journals do not ask. Hold on, let me pull up another one. Which one is? Let me see. Oh, my favorite, burnt out to build up. Normal questions are not going to ask you. Let me find one. Hold on one second. What feels different about my energy now compared to before? What have I been pushing through instead of addressing? If I'm honest, what feels unsustainable in my life right now? Have you ever had journals that ask you that? No.
Hard question, but this is what I'm saying. So that's what makes it, in my opinion, so different from other things. I will say some other things. I haven't read everything on the market where it's like a very open-ended question that's like, no, I feel, yes, I'm sad. No, or if you have to do the depression, questionnaire. I get all that, but it doesn't really, in my opinion, I feel like that those are branches on a tree and it doesn't get to the root.
Yes.
And so at the root, I think the root of some of these things are things like when you read those questions that are very thought-provoking for like, I don't really know why I'm here. Like I've been there where I'm like, I'm this, I'm that. I don't really know. Like what happened that I suppressed? That I don't know why I'm like this. And then you have to like keep going to a point sometimes that it hurts.
Yes. And that's the part right there that's really the breakthrough point is when it does hurt, because now you recognize the pain, you work through that pain, and then you move to the other side instead of holding on to that. One of the things I ask is I'm asking those thought-provoking questions because a lot of times you want someone to ask you that, but no one is asking you that. We're just going to ask you, are you okay? And so when I ask that question, I ask, are you okay? I'm not asking, are you okay? I'm sitting and I'm in depth. I'm in depth with the words, are you okay?
And what does okay mean to you,
Yes.
right? Because some people's like, well, I got up, I got dressed, I went to work, I took care of my children, I went to bed. And so to them, I'm okay, right? But there have been days I have done that and felt numb.
Mm-hmm.
That's not okay.
Mm-mm.
And so I am actually learning that when someone is like, are you okay? Not today. I'm having a bad day today.
Yes.
I really, and just start practicing telling the truth. Start practicing being authentic, because
Yes.
it actually makes a difference in how I feel. I'm like, oh, okay, I was honest. Like, now this person ain't gonna bother me because they know I'm having a really bad day. Even with our children, mommy, you okay? Baby, it was a rough day. Like, teach them how to be emotionally competent.
Yeah, emotionally intelligent, emotionally stable. Yeah. That's one of the things I'm teaching mine, is to use her words. You can use your words, how you use your words, to let someone know how you really and truly feel. Be honest and be truthful, because in that way you're not thinking back, well, I should have told her this is how I really and truly felt, but you didn't. And one of the hardest things about that is actually telling people and them being able to hold space for your truth. And then having rational resilience to understand that your truth is not really affecting them. It's just your truth. It's that intent over impact, because you may be offended, but you're asking a question. They're giving you an honest answer. And you should be able to hold space for that. That's something that we have a hard time with.
Absolutely. And also, for someone who does love or care about you, if you are authentic with them, that there should be an adjustment on their part, right? If you lack capacity, if you are exhausted, if you, whatever that thing is, we still have to function. Yes, right? That is who we are. But you would hope that there's an adjustment on that end if you're truly authentic. When I tell my children, it was crazy. Sometimes they even ask me, well, what happened? And to me, that is so amazing, because it's like, oh, they care about me. You know what I'm saying? So you kind of get that healing immediately when you're authentic, versus if you go, okay, I'm okay. Then they're like, okay, me too. Bye. Okay.
Yeah, they come in quickly, just as quick. Yes.
Can I get a pizza? Since you okay? Like, hey, can you rub my feet? Can you get my clothes? Is you okay? It makes a difference, I think, in how those who care about us handle us when we're less authentic than we should be.
Yes, because one of the things that we do is we put up such a facade that the real person is inside hurting, not being able to be who they are truly meant to be. And so the facade keeps building and building and building. And then you wind up being this little bitty old thing. It's like those Russian dolls, where you have this little bitty old doll inside of this huge doll, and you are your true authentic self in the inside. And everyone else sees all of these personas that you're supposed to be. I am learning how to be myself. That can be good and bad, but for me, I'm okay.
Yeah, and we will be. And I'm
gonna. Yeah, we will be okay. I'm okay.
So I'm gonna bring up Everett Johnson 3545 says, how did you retain your thought pattern? So like, how do you maintain that positivity and that empowering kind of motivated kind of energy forward, like every day?
Okay, so let me just first say, one, I'm not positive every day. I have to remind myself who I am every day. We are emotional creatures. We have several thousand realms of different types of emotions that we go through. I go through them as well. I am a straight Leo. I wax and I wane, and I wax and I wane. I just have to remind myself who I am and where I'm going. How I retain my thought processes is I go through all 7 chakras, and I have to say, I am, I have, I love, I see, I speak, I feel. I remind myself of that all the time. And I also have to remind myself to be present in the moment and then feel what I'm feeling. If I'm not feeling well and I'm emotional and I'm sad, I'm sad for a reason. Something is going on, and feel that and name it, and then let it go. I'm not going to hold on to all that sadness for the next 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks. I'm not saying depression is not real and sadness is not real. I just recognize it for what it is, and then I have to continue to move forward. If it's something I really feel like I need, I will definitely look into getting assistance if I do from a medical profession. But I realize that letting go, whatever it is that's in your mind, is healthy as well. So I just remind myself who I am. And one of the things that I do that If anybody on this right here can tell me they do this every day, okay, we good. I have to remind myself that I love myself. We tell everybody else how much we love them, but we never tell ourselves how much you love yourself. I love my 2 feet, my legs, my knees, my hands, my elbows, myself. I love you. I am thankful for you. I am grateful for you. I am proud of you. Who has told you that they were proud of you? Why we got to wait for somebody to tell us that? I can tell myself that because I am proud of myself. I'm proud of who I am, where I have come from, how much I have accomplished. I remind myself of that daily.
Yes, ma'am. And also that comparison is a fluke.
Oh,
right?
Girl, yes.
Because you're comparing yourself to someone else completely. So, and also a lot of the comparison we're doing is to lifestyles that are false.
Girl, yes. They're reality versus romanticism. We looking at something. Or reality versus idealism. We're looking at something that's not even real. It's
not real.
On social media. But I mean,
I remember someone even coming up to me at some point, and it doesn't even have to be social media because I'm not on social media as much. And I'll put this out there. I had someone who doesn't really know me personally, but basically came up to me and I was explaining something that I was going through at the time. And it was a group that I get with, and I was meeting with for Bible study, and they were like, well, girl, you just seem like you have it all together. And that's when I had to pause. I said, oh, this is my favorite part. I said, so how do you make that determination? What algorithm are you using? What leads people to believe that people have it all together? And I literally asked this question. And some of the responses that I received were, well, I mean, like, you don't really complain, and you don't, when I see you and your husband and your family, everything seems, and this and that. And this is what I explain to people. As human as you are, I am human. I get angry, I hurt, I cry. There's occasional disagreement. So if we could also stop romanticizing what each other's lives are like, that would be great, because then I think we would be better at picking up on when we're hurt, when each other is hurt. Like you and I, we've been friends, 2016, 17, long time. Yeah. When we talk on the phone, you can even tell from my voice, you're like, oh, no. Not today. You okay? Well, you're not okay. Oh, okay. You want to talk about it?
Yeah.
Or, and that's the beauty of an authentic relationship, right? Is that you could be like, yeah, my friend, I can't even lie to her. Like she already know.
But as you know, we are similar. So whenever one of us is going through it, the other one going through something similar. So I can call you and be like, girl, let me tell you, I'm having a day. And you're like, me too. I'm like, there we go.
Yes, but we have more questions now from the audience. So Mama says, is journaling best in the morning, afternoon, or evening?
That is a personal preference, I'm gonna say. For some people, especially if they are early birds, they prefer to journal in the morning. I know a ton of people who prefer to journal at night before they go to bed, because if they journal in the evening, this way they can take down and write everything that has happened throughout that day, put it down on paper, close that book, and now they're done. Because what happened that day is done. They putting in their thoughts, their processes, if they're angry, their communications, whatever it is, the things they could not say out loud verbally, they put it in the journal, and then the book is closed and it's done. And then when they wake up the next day, it's a whole nother day. I have a coworker who told me that what she does is she will have the journal is closed. Hold on, let me. It'll be closed like this, and she would just flip it open to a page, and whatever page it goes on, that's what she works on. She said there's been several times she had to close it because she felt like, I don't think I'm ready to work on that yet. I told her, girl, are you for real? She was like, oh, that was too deep. She said it's too deep. It's too deep. But for me, journaling is best depending on what it is that you are looking for and how your day goes. If you're a day person or morning person, okay. If you're a night person, that's fine as well. If you prefer journaling in the afternoon and you have that time and space, so be it. But it's all dependent on you.
Okay. And then another one from Verna Johnson, 3545. She says, sorry, are some of these journals available? So if you can explain, and I can bring up our previous slide.
All the journals are available on Amazon. I'm definitely going to do a little shout out for myself. If you wait until Wednesday, which is my birthday, all my journals will be on sale celebrating my birthday. Every journal will be on it or on Amazon, and I have it in paperback as well as hardback. So if you wait till Wednesday, there's my QR code. It will take you to my author page. I love that. Thank you. You can actually get them on Wednesday when I actually, again, I'm celebrating my birthday.
Yes, I love that. And yeah, that'll give me to get on there and get some of the ones that I haven't had a chance to get yet.
Yes.
So we're gonna, I guess, sort of wrap up because we've actually led into a lot of the questions that I had for you just by kind of sharing and talking today. But I always bring back the question, like, what would you talk to your younger self about, or what type of conversation would you have with your younger self? Like, what do you feel like they would need to know? And it could be at any young other version of yourself at a different time. Like, what would you say to her?
Oh, I have to sit on that one. If I had to talk to my younger self and tell her anything, I would talk to her about negative self-talk. Yes, because a lot of people will say they don't do it. We do. We all negative self-talk. I will tell her to love herself. She is beautiful. I will tell her that she's on the right track. She's going exactly where she is supposed to be going. She's doing exactly what she's supposed to be doing. I will remind her to have more confidence in herself and work on her insecurities. I have so much because a lot of what I wrote is based on all of that, all the issues I have, all the issues I think we all have. I will tell her to love herself more, be proud of herself, and to remind her that she doesn't need confirmation for anyone else but herself. She has everything she needs inside of herself. Yeah, and remind herself that she a queen. I mean, she came from queendom. She came from kings and queens. Her ancestors are with her all the time. So I'll remind her of that.
My goodness. Well, I love that. I needed that today. Glam Dolls Boutique also says happy birthday.
You have some happy birthday.
Also said happy early birthday tea.
Thank you.
You got all the birthday love, girl. So having said that, what do you really hope? What is one thing or some things, because you said you dropped so much knowledge today, but what is one thing or something you hope that the audience today walks away with from your conversation and really dedication to your craft of empowering and uplifting and just moving people forward? So what do you hope that everyone took away today?
That they are limitless. They can do whatever they want to do. They have the potential and the power to go from intergalactic to extragalactic. They can go all the way out there. That the only person hindering them is themselves. If they feel as though they can't do it, that can't is can, and they can do it. I, again, never thought I would be writing. I, again, never thought I would be self-publishing. I, again, would never thought I would be on your own podcast, girl. Well, hello. Never thought I would be doing this.
Right. Which 6 months ago, I was like, who's doing what? Right? I would be like, no, I'm not doing that.
Never thought any of this. Here I am doing it. I went completely to the right, and it has been wonderful. I have been enjoying the journey. So I definitely will let them know that put one foot in front of the other, close your eyes, and enjoy the ride.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so, I mean, with that, what are we working on next?
What are we working? Okay, so here we go. Well, she going to break. I have some ideas in my head. I have not put pen to paper. I haven't put Word to Microsoft Word transcribe. I have a voice recording that I talk on to a lot when I'm writing. My birthday is next week. I'm not doing anything until after August 1st. There we go. Wait. Because that's that weekend. So let's do that Monday.
Gotcha. So we will check. We will check back, first of all, to remind everyone later this week, because your journals will be on sale
on Wednesday,
on Wednesday for your birthday. So anyone interested in getting her journals, I will bring this up again, or getting in touch with Miss Cooper, you can scan the QR code, which will take you to her Amazon collection. She also has a couple journals on the Barnes & Noble platform.
Yes.
If you have any questions for her, you can likely find her on socials.
Yes.
And Inspire and Transform Collective, I believe.
Yes, it is. It is.
Okay.
Let me just say,
and then
go
go
ahead.
ahead.
No. I was just looking at this that I put up. I love the way how you see the new episode now streaming. And I was doing it for us, for this right here, what we're doing right now. I can see how that could be misleading. I can see how that could be.
And y'all, this is real authentic because we friends. Because I was like, girl, you doing the podcast? Me. I would be the first guest.
I can see how it could be misleading, but okay, go ahead. I'm gonna be quiet.
And plus, I just love the whole marketing. It was very nice. So Vernon Johnson 3545 says, love you both. Thank you both for making this possible. JPTZ3 says, thank you for the inspiration.
Okay, wait. Hold up. Which Rihanna is this? Rihanna. Yes.
You can ask her.
Is this the one who left me? I need to know this.
Ooh.
Well,
let's see if she comments.
I need to see if she's gonna comment.
I don't know, but someone else commented. So we see you, Miss Diana James, Winder.
That's my aunt.
She just received your new book.
And then Rihanna just said, yes, it's one for my job.
Yes. You.
I just want to make a shout out to Rihanna. I just want to do a shout out. Hey, Rihanna.
She just
became a nurse practitioner. She's a nurse practitioner now. She is actually working for a private practice. She's doing her thing. I am so freaking proud of her. She has moved forward and she is doing the thing. She is doing the thing. So I'm really proud of her. I am so happy. And I miss you as well. But I'm very excited.
Welcome to the MP crew, honey.
Yes.
First of all. Second of all, I also wanted to kind of throw this out to the viewers and to anyone associated with them. If you have a story that you think will impact or empower on the AhaVah Effect, you can always kind of hit me up or DM me on my socials at AhaVah Works on Facebook. And I will definitely get back to you. I'm always interested in interviewing and see who we can have on the live to help push others forward. We thank you all, but I most thank Ms. Cooper for joining us tonight with her empowering story. And we hope you guys have a great night. You can always check us out on YouTube on the AhaVah Effect. Subscribe and like if you would. We'll see you next time. I hope to also launch my website soon where you'll be able to see future episodes. And that you'll be able to kind of get in. And we thank you so much. Diana James says, happy birthday, Tori. And I think she's shaking her head. Thank you, Auntie. And we hope you all have a wonderful night. Thank you for joining us on the AhaVah Effect, where love leads, grounded in authenticity. Love y'all.
Bye.